Every time you turn on a light, every time you charge your phone, every time electricity moves through a wire anywhere on this planet, there's one man you have to thank. And most people have never heard his name. Or if they have, they got his story completely wrong. His name was Nikola Tesla. And this is not a success story. This is something much darker. Let's start from the very beginning. And I mean the very beginning. Tesla was born in 1856 in a village in what is now Croatia, during a lightning storm. And the midwife, dead serious, looked at his mother and said, "This child will be a child of darkness." His mother looked back and said, "No, he will be a child of light." Bro was literally destined for electricity before he even took his first breath. Now his father was a priest, wanted Tesla to become a priest too. But Tesla had other plans. He was obsessed with electricity, math, physics. He could solve calculus problems in his head so fast that his teachers accused him of cheating. His brain was just built different. But here's where it gets complicated. Tesla also started seeing things. As a child, he witnessed his brother die, trampled by a horse right in front of him. And after that trauma, the visions started. Flashes of blinding light, objects appearing in front of him so real he couldn't tell if they were imaginary. He spent his whole life not knowing what was real and what wasn't. But here's the plot twist. Those same hallucinations were the source of his genius. He could visualize entire inventions inside his head, build them mentally, test them mentally, and then build the real version. And it would work perfectly, every single time. So this kid with a broken mind and a gift from God moves to America in 1884, lands in New York with 4 cents in his pocket, some poems he wrote, and a letter of recommendation. The letter was addressed to the most famous inventor in America, Thomas Edison, and it said, and I'm paraphrasing, "I know 2 great men. One is you, the other is this young man." Edison hired him on the spot. Now here's where history gets dirty. Edison was brilliant, no question, but Edison was also a businessman first. His entire empire was built on direct current, DC electricity. Tesla comes in and says, "Boss, I have something better. Alternating current, AC. It can travel hundreds of miles. It's more efficient. It's the future." Edison's response? Absolutely not. Because if AC wins, Edison's entire DC empire collapses. So he made Tesla a deal. "Improve my DC machines. I'll pay you $50,000. Tesla spent months, fixed everything, then asked for his money. Edison laughed and said, "Tesla, you don't understand American humor." He wasn't joking, he just didn't pay him. Tesla quit the next day. And it got worse before it got better. After quitting Edison, Tesla tried to start his own company. Failed. Lost everything. Had to dig ditches for $2 a day just to eat. The man who would one day power the entire world was digging holes in the ground to survive. But then things turned around. Tesla invented the AC induction motor in 1887. George Westinghouse saw it and immediately understood. This changes everything. He bought Tesla's patents, paid him serious money, and together they took on Edison in what history calls the War of Currents. Edison fought dirty. He publicly electrocuted animals using AC power to prove it was dangerous. Dogs, calves, even an elephant named Topsy. He did all of this just to destroy Tesla's reputation. But in the end, AC won. Tesla's system lit up the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago. 160,000 light bulbs. People who had never seen a single light bulb in their lives, standing in a field of 160,000. It was like magic. Tesla had won. And then he threw it all away. Not by accident, on purpose. See, Tesla had a dream bigger than money. He wanted to give the entire world free wireless electricity. No wires, no bills, no corporations. Just free energy for every human being on Earth. He convinced banker J.P. Morgan to fund a massive tower on Long Island, the Wardenclyffe Tower. It was going to be the most ambitious project in human history. But Morgan found out the electricity would be free. You can't sell free electricity. So Morgan pulled the funding. The tower was foreclosed, torn down for scrap metal, and Tesla went bankrupt. The last decade of his life is genuinely heartbreaking. He moved into the Hotel New Yorker, room 3327. He barely ate, just warm milk and crackers. He spent his days feeding pigeons in the park outside. He had OCD so severe he couldn't shake anyone's hand without gloves. He was obsessed with the number 3. He walked around buildings 3 times before entering. The man who once rubbed shoulders with Mark Twain and the richest people in the world was now completely alone. No family, no wife, no friends, just the pigeons. On January 7th, 1943, a hotel maid walked into room 3327 and found his body. He died alone at 86. No one was there. But here's the final gut punch. Almost immediately after his death, the U.S. government raided his room, took all his files, all his notes, classified them as top secret. For years, no one knew what he was working on. And that same year, 1943, the U.S. Supreme Court finally ruled that Marconi's radio patent was invalid. The radio? Tesla invented it. He invented it years before Marconi, but the credit went to someone else. He only got justice after he was already dead. You know what gets me? This man powered the modern world. Every device you own runs on his system, and he died alone in a hotel room eating crackers talking to pigeons. Because he cared more about what electricity could do for humanity than what it could do for his bank account. The world took everything from him, and he gave it everything anyway. That's the real story of Nikola Tesla. Not a genius who succeeded, a genius who was betrayed. By the people he worked for, by the investors who abandoned him, by history itself, which gave his credit to other men, and only remembered him after it was too late.